Today is Friday, August 30th. We've got an update today about Hurricane Dorian's path as the storm gets stronger, plus plans for a U.S. Space Command, new warnings about e-cigarettes, and a popular game show host is back. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Hurricane Dorian is getting stronger, and it could make a direct hit on Florida as a Category 4 storm over the weekend. Remember, there's only Categories 1 through 5, so this Category 4 could be a strong one with 130-mile-per-hour winds. CBS News says it could be the strongest direct hit to Florida's East Coast since the early 90s. Of course, there's a chance Dorian's path could change, but right now forecasters think it'll make landfall by early Monday. The Weather Channel reports today and tomorrow the storm will threaten Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas. Then it's on to the U.S. mainland. To prepare, both Florida and Georgia have declared a state of emergency, telling people on the coast to stock up 7 days worth of food, medicine, and other supplies. Damaging winds, flooding, and power outages are all possible. President Trump canceled his trip to Poland, saying it's important for him to stay in the U.S. during this storm. And also a quick note about travel, because Florida is a vacation spot and it's Labor Day weekend. NBC News reports some airlines are letting people change their flights without an extra fee. There are no flight cancellations yet, but that could change. And cruises are changing their plans to stay clear of the storm. Of course, if you're in one of the areas that could be impacted, be sure to get updates from your local news over the weekend. The Trump administration wants to roll back regulations on methane. Methane is a greenhouse gas that is considered a major contributor to climate change. Well, the New York Times reports the proposed rule from the EPA, or Environmental Protection Agency, would mean oil and gas companies do not have to use technology to find and fix methane leaks. Right now, under the current rule, they do. USA Today reports the Trump administration says the current rule has minimal benefits, and if they got rid of it, it would actually save the oil and gas industry, as well as consumers, millions of dollars a year. But environmentalists say it could be a major setback in the effort to fight climate change, and they plan to fight this in court. In fact, the Times says even the energy industry is pretty split about this. Some companies are for it, but others worry it'll hurt their reputation. For now, the more relaxed rule will go up for public comment, and it's expected to finalize next year. Ex-FBI Director James Comey broke FBI policies when he leaked info, but none of it was classified at the time. That's what the Justice Department's Inspector General found in a new report. The Inspector General is basically a watchdog inspecting the department's activity. Well, the AP reports the office found Comey set a dangerous example for thousands of FBI employees. Comey wrote down details of private conversations he said he had with President Trump that concerned him. Things like Trump asking Comey for loyalty or to drop an investigation he disagreed with. Well, here's the part that broke the rules. Comey then leaked one of those memos to a friend in 2017, asking them to give it to a reporter, and he's admitted he did this on purpose. He hoped a special counsel would be appointed to the investigation involving Russia and the Trump campaign. As we know now, that did ultimately happen. Special counsel Robert Mueller was appointed a day later. Still, the Justice Department is not prosecuting Comey for this. None of the information that was released to the public was considered classified. Still, President Trump tweeted Comey, quote, should be ashamed of himself. It's official. The U.S. Space Command is coming back. It's a division of the Air Force. NPR reports the Space Command was originally created in 1985 for missile defense and surveillance efforts during the Cold War. But after the September 11th attacks in 2001, it merged with another command to focus on the invasion of Afghanistan. Now it'll be its own entity once again. It will defend America's military satellites and plan for how future wars might play out in space. To be clear, this is not the same thing as the so-called Space Force that we've talked about before and that President Trump is proposing. That would be an entirely new branch of the military, so Congress would have to give the okay. Still, Trump hopes the reestablished Space Command will be a step in the direction toward a full-on Space Force. More news ahead, but first, thank you to our sponsor today, Blinkist. If you've always been someone who wants to read more, but you never feel like you have the time, then you will love Blinkist. Blinkist is a popular app that helps you read more books faster because it breaks down the best key takeaways from thousands of nonfiction books into just 15 minutes. Categories include personal development, career and success, productivity, motivation, and more. And the massive library is always growing. There are popular books like Getting Things Done by David Allen and The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I love that Blinkist lets me fast-track my way to more information without making me feel overwhelmed with too much information and not enough time to get through it. And Blinkist gives you the choice to either read or listen on the go. And right now, Blinkist has a special offer just for our audience. You can go to Blinkist.com/news to start your free 7-day trial and give it a try. That's Blinkist, spelled Blinkist, Blinkist.com/news to start your free 7-day trial. Blinkist.com/news. Now back to the news. There's now another federal investigation into the e-cigarette company Juul. This time, the FTC, or Federal Trade Commission, wants to find out if the company has ever marketed to teenagers, especially through certain social media influencers, which the FTC regulates. This latest investigation is in addition to many others involving several state attorneys general and the FDA. It's been a big government concern because of the popularity of Juul among teenagers. Just last year, the U.S. Surgeon General called the number of kids vaping an epidemic. That said, Juul has been making some changes since all of these investigations started. And now, Juul says it'll try a new checkout system to keep its products away from kids. Starting in 2021, stores will have to scan people's IDs if they want to sell Juul products. And the new system will not let people buy Juul products in bulk, so people can't share them with their underage friends. And one more note about this. There are new warnings now from health officials about all kinds of vaping. Just this week, the city of Milwaukee issued a warning for everyone to stop vaping immediately. They're seeing cases of chemical pneumonia that could be linked to vaping. And the first vape-related death was reported in Illinois just last week. CNN reports he died from lung problems linked to e-cigarette use. Bloomberg reports the FDA is also investigating seizures that have been linked to the devices. Vaping refers to inhaling vapor from an e-cigarette that can have nicotine, marijuana, or other drugs. E-cigarettes have been marketed as a safer alternative to traditional cigarettes, but really, no one knows the long-term effects just yet. Some cities in Florida are scrambling right now to get all the bikes and e-scooters off of their streets because Hurricane Dorian will arrive. Bloomberg reports the cities like Miami and Tampa are telling all the e-scooter companies to remove their products by noon today. Since e-scooters are not attached to anything and are often just left along the sidewalks, the worry is that hurricane winds will pick them up and send them flying, becoming a pretty serious threat to people and property. Company spokespeople say they're on it, and they have teams making sure all e-scooters and bikes are in warehouses before the storm hits. Apple fans, mark your calendars. September 10th is the date Apple might be announcing its new iPhones. The tech giant just sent out media invites to its annual event. As a reminder, USA Today reports industry insiders expect Apple will announce 3 new iPhones. They'll include the iPhone Pro and iPhone Pro Max with things like an upgraded camera that can capture ultra-wide angles. Engadget says the phones will also apparently have an option to wirelessly charge AirPods by placing the charging case on top of the back of the phone. We can also expect to learn more about the upcoming Apple TV Plus subscription service. Apple hasn't confirmed any of this just yet, so stay tuned for September 10th. Alex Trebek is back. The longtime host of Jeopardy started filming season 36 of the game show. In a video posted online, Trebek says he's done with chemotherapy and is, quote, on the mend. Remember, Trebek was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer 5 months ago. There's a low survival rate, but Trebek says he's determined to fight it. This season of Jeopardy premieres September 9th. Labor Day is on Monday. It's a federal holiday, so keep in mind many schools and government offices will be closed. It's meant to be a time to relax and pay tribute to the contributions and achievements of American workers. And a time for lots of sales and discounts as well. NBC News put together a list of some of the things you might see on sale this weekend. Some laptops and computers could be as much as half off at some stores. Major appliances and mattresses are going to be discounted many places as well. And expect summer clothes to be marked down, since Labor Day is known as the unofficial end of the summer season. And speaking of the holiday weekend, we will be taking the day off as well. We will not have an episode on Monday because of Labor Day. So we'll be back getting you all caught up first thing in the morning on Tuesday. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening and for sharing the show if you got value out of it. As always, you can read more about any of the stories we talked about in this episode. Just look in your podcast app or go to thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and look for today's date. Again, we'll be off for Labor Day, so we will be back with much more news on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.